أعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. We begin in the name of Allah Azza wa Jal, and peace and blessings upon His noble messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. I want to begin by going to a story mentioned in Al-Quran Al-Kareem where Musa alayhi salam, as many of us know, he fled Egypt and he goes to Midian. And he's near a group of people with their sheep, and like many of us know the story, he sees them watering their herd, and he sees two sisters that are to the side. And Musa alayhi salam asks them, what they are doing, and they express how they're waiting for the other individuals to leave. So Musa helps them out, and then goes and sits under a tree. And Allah Azza wa Jal mentions one of the sisters, saying, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فجاءته إحداهما تمشي على استحياء. He says one of the sisters goes to Musa alayhi salam. How does Allah describe her? He says she goes in a way that is with shyness and bashfulness. He mentions one of her qualities, characteristics, haya, shyness, modesty. And then when she tells him, our father is asking for you to come over so he can thank you, he goes there, and the father is considering to offer him a job, and as we know, to also offer one of his daughters hand in marriage. The daughter says here, "Inna khayra man ista'jarta al-qawiyyu al-amin." The daughter tells the father, it's a good idea to hire him. The best person you can hire is the one who is qawi, strong, but what else? Ameen, trustworthy. Again, a quality of a person's character. Now, I often get questions about marriage. People who are trying to get married, maybe some of you who are not married. This khutbah is for both those who are not married and those who are married, even if you've been married for decades. I was recently with a group of brothers, and they said, Shaykh Ismail, what should we be looking for in a spouse? What quality should we look for? We're trying to find the most religious, sister. And what do I say? What did I say to them? And this may be shocking to you. I said, be careful. Do not marry a sister just for her deen, just for her religion, or the outward expression of religion. A person prays 5 times, fasts Ramadan. That's not enough. And they were a bit shocked. I told them, let's look at the Prophet ﷺ's advice. Imam al-Tirmidhi narrates, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا جاءكم من ترضون دينه وخلقه فزوجوه. The Prophet ﷺ said, if someone comes to you, male or female, these are 2 qualities the Prophet said a person should focus on when they're looking to get married and when they are married. Number 1, if someone comes to you interested in marriage and you're happy, you're pleased with their deen, meaning the outward expression of their religiosity, and their khuluq, their character, which is a sign of the inward, then proceed. The Prophet ﷺ, he could have said, whoever comes to you and you're pleased with their religion, right, then marry them. So my dear brothers and sisters, it is not enough to think just being religious, that's all I need to do. I just need to pray. I just need to fast. I don't need to focus on the bad habits, the bad qualities, the anger, the being rude, all of these different illnesses, you could say, of the heart. And Allah Azza wa Jal tells us, and this is how I'll conclude this khutbah. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها. Allah said from His signs, and it can also be interpreted from His miracles, is that He created from you spouses to find what? What's the goal of marriage? For those who are planning to get married and for those who are married, to find sakina, comfort in it, tranquility in it, peace in it. And a person will not find that in a marriage if they don't have both of these. Religiosity, the 5 prayers, the fasting, avoiding the haram, but also al-akhlaqul hasana, good character, showing love, showing affection, showing kindness, being generous, being forgiving. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, wa sallallahu ala sayyidina rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi man wala. So the first part of the khutbah was a bit about those who are looking for marriage. Now, for those of us who are married, and I want to begin by speaking to the husbands. If you're a husband, many husbands, unfortunately, they think that as long as they pay the bills, they've done their part. I pay the bills, I take care of the utilities, I buy the food, I spend the money. That is enough. That I'm showing my love and affection. The Prophet ﷺ, let's go back to the hadith. Did he say, if a man comes and he's able to pay the bills, then marry your daughter off to them? No. He said, akhlaq, character, and religion. But how many of us, we think, oh, I'm paying for everything, that is enough to show my love. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, خِيَارُكُمْ لِنِسَائِهِمْ. The best of you are the best to their wives in all forms of goodness. As we mentioned, to show affection, to show mercy, some of my teachers, they said every husband should have 2 qualities. Al-karam wat-taghaful. Al-karam means generosity. You give. Yes, I know this has to do with wealth, and we were saying it's not just wealth, but you're generous. But number 2, at-taghaful. What's at-taghaful? To turn a blind eye. To not be nitpick, comment on everything, try to micromanage everything. So the husband, their responsibility is to be the best to their wives, not just to go to the masjid 5 times a day and to cover their head, but in their mu'amala, in their character. Now for the sisters, some wives think, especially if they're a stay-at-home wife, that as long as I'm taking care of the duties of the home, taking care of the kids, cleaning, cooking, that's enough. But that's not enough. It's the same thing. Religiosity, but also character. Also how you treat your husband, how you make them feel. I was once invited to a masjid, and I'll share this story. Because I don't know if some of our sisters got influenced by, the feminism movement, and also the brothers, the red pill movement. This has infiltrated our communities. And we have no reason to follow these things. As Muslims, every one of us here in the masjid, we take from Al-Quran Al-Kareem and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. I was once at a masjid, I was invited, and the sister side, they asked a question. One woman, she said, Shaykh, what's your advice to us women? And they were not young women, they were clearly would have been married. And immediately I thought of a hadith. And I shared this hadith, but it seemed like they didn't really like this hadith. And our Muslims, we should never be upset with the speech of the Prophet ﷺ or dislike it or find any ill feeling towards it. I immediately said, my advice, if you want Jannah, sisters, 4 things the Prophet ﷺ said to do. 4 things and you enter Jannah. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا صَلَّتِ الْمَرْأَةُ خَمْسَهَا وَصَامَتْ شَهْرَهَا وَحَفِظَتْ فَرْجَهَا وَأَطَاعَتْ زَوْجَهَا قيل لها ادخلي الجنة من أي أبواب الجنة شئت. قيل لها ادخلي الجنة من أي أبواب الجنة شئت. The Prophet ﷺ said, if a wife does these 4 things, she will be told, enter Jannah from whatever door you want. And I shared this hadith. What are the 4 things? If a woman prays 5 times a day, alas, he didn't say praying qiyamul layl, even though all of those things are good. If a woman prays 5 times a day, if a woman fasts the month of Ramadan, and if a woman protects her chastity, and if a woman obeys her husband, listens to her husband, and those things that are halal, of course, then she will be told, enter Jannah from whatever door of Jannah you want. When we look at Al-Quran Al-Kareem, my dear brothers and sisters, and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and we see how Allah advises the men to treat their women, how the Prophet ﷺ said, رِفْقًا بِالْقَوَارِيرِ. The Prophet ﷺ said, be gentle with the glass containers. He described our wives as like a glass container. Be careful you don't shatter it. Be gentle with it. You know, when you get a package and it says, fragile, be gentle. Be careful with what you say. Be careful that you don't say something that they'll never forget, that you'll break their heart. And when the Prophet ﷺ also advises women, listen to your husband. Show them respect, show them love. This is how marriages flourish. And the reason I'm giving this khutbah is I work in a community and I see, everything. My final advice, and I'll conclude here. We did a weekend intensive where we were covering a text and I gave advice about marriage. I said, how many of us, before getting married, or even when we're married, we focus on what are my rights in the marriage? For the men, what are the husband's rights? And for the sisters, they'll focus, what are my rights as a wife? But this is completely backwards. And this is not conducive to healthy marriages. If the husband thinks, what are the rights of my wife on me? What are my responsibilities to her? What will I be asked by Allah Azza wa Jal about regarding her? And if the wife does the same, what are the husband's rights over me? What are my responsibilities towards him? This is how marriages remain intact and do not allow the shaitan, the whispers of the shaitan to divide between spouses. Because this is the foundation of our communities. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to grant us relationships that are blessed, that are filled with rahmah, that are filled with mawadda. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect our communities and kids. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad kama sallaita ala Sayyidina Ibrahim wa ala ali Sayyidina Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. And we make a dua general for every person who has someone in their family that is sick or anyone here who is sick. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to grant them shifa. And I have a request for dua for the niece of one of our brothers here. Her name is Zainab, I believe. She's she is sick in Pakistan. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to give her complete shifa, ya Rab. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to accept our Jumu'ah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Aqim as-salah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.